Welcome back to the Smoking Sun channel. In this video, we'll be diving into an incredible yet haunting tale that spans across the late 19th and early 20th centuries. We'll explore the life of Eugene Butler, born circa 1849 in Royalton, New York, near Buffalo. Eugene was one of three sons born to Ephraim and Rebecca Butler. His life took an unexpected turn when he moved to the Dakota Territories around 1882, where he purchased a massive 480-acre farm in the city of Niagara, which is present-day North Dakota. Eugene Butler, a mysterious figure, chose a life of solitude. He never married and actively avoided interactions with his neighbors. Instead, he spent his days toiling away on his vast property, situated near Larimore, North Dakota. During the summer months, Butler hired farmhands to help maintain his land. But the real intrigue begins in the early 1900s when the residents of the tiny town of Niagara, North Dakota, started hearing strange, unsettling noises in the dead of the night. The once silent countryside was now pierced by the sound of galloping hooves, and they were accompanied by Eugene Butler's piercing screams. This was odd behavior for a man known as wealthy and a successful farmer, albeit a reclusive one. Fast forward to February 4th, 1904, when the Jamestown Weekly Alert republished a shocking story from the Grand Forks Herald. Eugene Butler's mind had taken a harrowing journey. He was consumed by the hallucination that all the widows and old maids in the country were trying to marry him. At around 40 years of age, Eugene was committed to the Jamestown Insane Hospital. It was a puzzling case, especially considering his wealth, which was valued between $40,000 to $50,000 in 1904, which is about $1.3 million to $1.7 million in 2023. Butler's madness didn't end there. He also believed that the men were invading his home at night, forcing him to wake up, dress, and embark on strange walks and horseback rides. This earned him the nickname of the Midnight Rider. In hindsight, a couple of clarifications were necessary regarding the Herald story. While the story originally reported that Butler's home was in the tiny railroad stop known as Shawnee today, we know now that he lived in Niagara, approximately 6 miles northwest. Also, Butler's age at the time was 54, not 40. Regardless, Eugene Butler was declared insane and committed to the state hospital in 1904. He lived what seemed like an uneventful 8 years in the state hospital in Jamestown. However, the tale of Eugene Butler took another unexpected turn. 2 weeks after his death on October 22, 1911, Butler's name resurfaced, this time in the Saturday, November 4th issue of the Bismarck Tribune. The story, titled "Filing a Petition Recalls Old Case," it detailed the appointment of Butler's former attorney as an administrator for his estate, revealing further glimpses into Butler's mysterious life. Eugene Butler arrived in Grand Forks County in 1880 alongside a group of others from New York State. He selected 3/4 of a section of land near Larimore, where he began his farming endeavors. He quickly improved the land, constructing a substantial home and earning a reputation as a moderately well-off farmer. Despite forming friendships, Butler chose to live alone, handling all the housework chores himself. Around a decade before his confinement to the asylum, Eugene's behavior began to change dramatically. At night, he would recklessly ride his horses at breakneck speeds throughout the countryside, causing concerns among those who knew him. It was believed that his isolation contributed to the gradual deterioration of his mental state. Eventually, his condition deteriorated to the point where he was brought before an insanity board. Now, fast forward to 1915, several years after Butler's death. On June 27th of that year, the Bismarck Daily Tribune ran a headline that sent shivers down the spines of the town's residents. 6 bodies with skulls crushed are found in Niagara, North Dakota. Under this chilling headline, the story unfolded with each detail adding a layer of horror. Workmen were excavating under the house that Butler had occupied until just a few years earlier. Butler had died in 1911 in the state's insane asylum, and what they unearthed was beyond anyone's imagination. The remains of 6 men were discovered, and it was believed by authorities that they all had been brutally murdered by Butler while working as farmhands. All their skulls had been crushed, and their bodies had been secretly dropped into the basement through a meticulously crafted trapdoor. As the investigation unfolded, it was revealed that 5 of the murders occurred simultaneously. A man, a woman, and 3 children fell victim to these horrifying acts. At a later date, another man met a similarly gruesome fate, his body buried about 10 feet away from the others. The 5 family members were buried together in a single pit, while the lone victim had his own separate grave. The foundation of Butler's home was not left unscathed by these gruesome events. The basement had been dug from the outside, sloping, and Butler likely had to break the legs of some victims to fit them in the makeshift burial site. The absence of clothing on the victims' remains suggested that the garments had been destroyed, making identification nearly impossible. Examination of the skull of the single victim, likely the most recent murder victim, indicated a distinctive feature, a crooked nose, with the nasal bone bent slightly towards the left. Further examination suggested that some sharp instrument had been used to kill the victims, as there was a sharp, clearly defined hole in the left side of each skull. Authorities believe that Eugene Butler had killed 6 transient farm laborers, but this theory was later challenged. A new theory emerged suggesting that he had wiped out an entire family of 5 and later killed another man. However, there was no record of a family of 5 ever visiting the farm, and no one had ever reported a family of 5 missing. Speculation arose that perhaps 5 of Eugene's family members had come to visit and met a sinister end before anyone else could see them. On July 22, 1915, the Valley City Times-Record published a story that hinted at a possible identity of one of the victims. Leo Urbanski, a wealthy businessman and former saloon keeper from Minnesota, wondered whether his brother might have been the single male victim whose remains were found at Butler's farm. His attorney sent a letter to the state's attorney, O.B. Burtness, hoping to uncover the truth. This was what was written in the letter to the state's attorney. I've been requested to make an inquiry concerning John Urbanski, who disappeared from Niagara, North Dakota in 1902. The last heard from him was a letter received by his brother stating that he was working for a bachelor near Niagara. The postmark showed that the letter had been mailed from Larimore. John Urbanski was a young man, about 5 feet 7 inches in height, weighed 145 pounds, light hair, almost white, and a light complexion. He was sometimes called John Miller, and such may have been the name he was called when working near Niagara. Despite a century having passed since Butler's crimes came to light, the identities of the victims remain shrouded in mystery. Numerous theories have been proposed, including disputes over their gender and age. Some claim that they were all male, while others speculated they were housekeepers on Butler's farm. In the age of advanced forensic technology, one might expect answers through DNA analysis. Sadly, fate has not been kind in this regard. The bones of the victims, once held by Sheriff Art Turner in Grand Forks, were looted by townspeople upon hearing about the crime. Today, their whereabouts remain unknown, rendering DNA analysis impossible. Additionally, the original case files, if they ever existed, have mysteriously disappeared, possibly lost or destroyed over the years. The Butler home itself was torn down and replaced by a workshop owned by a local family. The true identity of Eugene Butler's victims continue to evade us, their stories locked in the past. With each passing year, it seems less likely that these mysteries will ever be fully unraveled. In the shadows of history, the tale of the Midnight Rider, Eugene Butler, and his gruesome secrets continue to fascinate and disturb those who dare to rifle into this chilling chapter of North Dakota's past. Only time will tell if a long-lost memory or hidden evidence will emerge, shedding light on this dark and horrifying deed of this reclusive farmer. Until then, the secrets of Eugene Butler and his victims remain enshrouded in the annals of the unknown. That will do it for this video. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and press the notification bell. And comment below. Stay curious, everyone, and see you next time.